Over time, I have felt kind of a gentle rage building about this and been told to be quiet about it. 4 to 5 different women who I would say are the most giving, most kind and understanding in their response to their husbands acting out. When they start to try to say, hey, this really, really hurts me, their husbands are going off the rails in ways that I've never seen before.
Welcome to The Couple Cure. Here's Jay and Lori Pyatt.
We are launching what we call the C.U.R.E. method, C.U.R.E. Jay, do you want to tell them about what that's about?
We're going to trademark this idea of what is our method, what is our approach to helping people. And so the C.U.R.E. method helps us put all of our tools and our techniques into a little bit different, buckets so that we're clear what we're about and we're clear what we're sharing on.
We follow the trauma model, but we also add one step in there, and that step is to make sure they're aligned in their values. So she's not wasting her hope, they're both not wasting their money, and that everybody knows if 2-on-2 calls are actually going to work. If you know about the trauma model, the first stage is stabilization. The second stage is what I call everything she needs in order to start using her voice, start setting solid boundaries. And number 3 is where the couples work comes in. We throw in there what I call step 2.5, where we really get clear on certain things to make sure 2-to-2 work isn't just going to hurt her more.
So what do the letters mean? The letter C means to calm. We're going to try to bring things to a calm state. Calm for the man, calm for the woman, develop calming techniques.
Yeah, so these are coping mechanisms. That's pretty much the same for the addict, the betrayed spouse, and for when we start 2-to-2 work for the couples. We're going to be holding them to, okay, use your coping mechanisms. Let's have a good conversation about this topic instead of another destructive one.
The U stands for unbind. And what that means is I'm bound to my addictive behaviors, and I'm going to unbind myself. I'm also bound to some beliefs and some behaviors that are unhealthy, and I need to break those so that I can, get back to a healthy place and begin to put those things into practice.
Unbinding for the betrayed spouse can look like cutting the oxytocin bonds so she can separate. It might look like unbinding from the things he's told her that are really hurtful that maybe she's believed. Maybe it's stuff that the church has told her or the world has told her. It's kind of shaking free so she can see things in a new light so she can move more closer to her own healing.
The third letter, R.
And this is where we detract from the trauma model a little bit just to hopefully help everybody involved.
Yeah. The third letter, R, stands for reckoning. We are going to have a reckoning of, am I ready for the next stage? Can I follow through on certain things? Am I clear about what I did? That's for the addict. I'll let you speak for the
For the betrayed wives, it can look like we have to reckon with reality. Normally by this stage, we have given him enough time to see if he's going to do the work, if he's still in the love of pleasure mode, still in the I don't want to have to use coping techniques. At this point, it's like, okay, we've given him enough time. We have to live in reality. It can also look like, if nothing ever changes, what am I going to do? Right. So that's when the unbinding can come in a real way, because a lot of times she feels stuck because he does provide some things. So reckoning can be, okay, let's come up with a plan in those areas. Right. For the couple, the reckoning can be, you did hurt me and you've got to sit in that. The reckoning could be, we do have to maintain separate houses. We do need to separate maybe in a legal sense. It could be, and hopefully it typically is, where the guy finally owns and finally repairs what's been broken.
And then the last letter, E, is embrace. For the addict, it is about him embracing this new life, this new understanding, continue to embrace what he's done and own that at a deep level, and then to begin to embrace new rules and new understandings of the relationship moving forward.
Another way you put it is where he starts living a bigger life. For the betrayed spouse, embrace can look like, if she doesn't have any interest in healing the relationship, it can look like her embracing her own life, her embracing her own future, her embracing the relationship with God or with her grandkids or her children, with, a new project at church. Whatever gives her life, that's what she can embrace. And of course, with the couples, it can look like embracing each other and embracing maybe an adjusted view of what the relationship can look like. I know I had to do that here. Relationships with an addict are going to look different than what we see in the movies. I mean, most of them are going to look different than what we see on TV. It's still better than what it was before.
Right.
So you get to embrace a new way of being together and growing old together in a way that is based in reality. And just to be clear, the C.U.R.E method can be used for addicts, can be used for betrayed partners, and definitely can be used with the couples coming to us for help. So we use it at every stage. And definitely the C is used all throughout the process. Since we kind of just finished talking about our relationship, I do want to do a side note here. And that is, I once again want to be, real with y'all about our marriage, simply because I've gotten the message from wives that kind of indicate that they think we live in some kind of dream state where it's, rainbows and butterflies all the time. And the other message I get from them is that's hurtful to them. I mean, I literally have heard from people saying, watching you two together sometimes hurts. Knowing that Jay changed and my husband didn't hurts me. We've literally had somebody tell us, watching you two together hurts me. So I want to be clear because I don't want to hurt people. Things are not necessarily great over here all the time. The enemy still attacks. Old ways of thinking can still creep in, whether it's he didn't hold to his word, he forgot a commitment. There might be a little bit of entitlement that creeps back in. It doesn't necessarily involve other women, but these things can still erode trust. Mm-hmm. So we still have to follow the C.U.R.E method. We still have to calm. We still have to get space when we need to. We still use the tools. I still have to use the very tools I give to my clients, just because life with an addict looks different.
Yeah, I still use calming techniques on a regular basis. I have a lot of things that I need to embrace. I still go to meetings. I still have an accountability group that I work with. I still have a mentor. I'm also recognizing that there are things that I'm still a little off base in and need to continue to work on.
I just wanted to do a quick side note about that, just because I don't like knowing that just our mere presence can hurt people, or just the mere fact that Jay has gotten a lot of sobriety. You're on...
Coming up on 16 years.
Yeah, this summer will be 16 years. So you guys don't need that extra pain.
No.
Right? So I wanted to get real with you guys on that, kind of have our own reckoning here.
Right.
Okay, now back to the work we do. Going forward, things are going to change, and I want to tell you why. For many decades now, I have absorbed the mistreatment of other people, whether it's, during my formative years, definitely with me and Jay, and now working with clients, hearing what they're going through impacts me deeply, simply because I tend to feel deeply what other people feel. I feel other people's pain. Sometimes I feel it in my joints, so it's a thing that can definitely wear me down. So over time, I have felt kind of a gentle rage building about this and been told to be quiet about it. That rage has built up, especially over the last, I'd say, year and a half, maybe a little bit longer. But it has come to a head these last few months simply because I've had a lot of women reach out who really have no desire to save their marriage simply because their husbands seem to be coming off the rails. It feels like it's getting worse out there, and I'm feeling it. And a lot of my clients are feeling it as well. When I talk about a gentle rage, I'm not talking chaotic, I'm not talking reckless, just a grief and an anger at the injustice. Like, I feel like God was saying something very clear to me when it happened to 4 to 5 different women who I would say are the most giving, kindest, most understanding in their response to their husbands acting out. I think they've made God smile in how they have dealt with their husbands. And when they start to try to say, hey, this really, really hurts me, their husbands are going off the rails in ways that I've never seen before. So with that much happening, at the same time, I feel like God is saying, yes, now it's time, Lori, you have to go in a different direction. So when I reached that tipping point, I had to step back and reassess, where do I feel like God is calling me now? And this is what I've come up with. For now, I'm going to be pressing more deeply into the reality that women are experiencing out there, especially when their husbands have no desire to get better. And in some ways, I have to step back. What that looks like over time, I know a little bit of it, but I don't know exactly what it's going to look like, so I could definitely use your prayers there. But I know one thing I have to do is stop putting out videos for couples. If you've come across this video and you're a new couple who wants to work with us and you're not already working with us, my new boundary is go back and watch the videos that we've put out there already. Tons of free content, 5 seasons out here. If you're still in repair process, first season is not going to work for you. Go back and watch the 5 seasons. I want you to do it for 9 months a year, and I'm going to want a report from your wife that you have actually put into practice the information we give and that things are getting better. Honestly, if you do that, you probably won't need us.
Right.
All right, we give some good content out here.
Yeah.
The second thing, if you want to jumpstart the whole process, check out the Basics of Rebuilding Trust program that we put together. We'll link it down below, but that should get you on a good footing. All right, but I am going to want to hear from your wife that you are putting things into practice. For now, my new focus will be on giving wives effective action steps for when their husbands either didn't do the work or are not doing the work. I know you've probably heard me say my purpose in life is to have a good marriage and to help other people do the same. I'm willing to put that aside because people are hurting. That's more important to me. I call it the power over people, the dominators, the ones that would kick somebody when they're down. I'm seeing that more and more and more in Christian marriages, in the stories of the wives that come to us. So that to me is more important because at my core, like even below what I feel like I've been put on this earth to do, is I am not okay with injustice. I am not okay with people being stepped on. So I don't know if I'll be continuing to do videos, but if I do, they will be for the wives. And the tone of them will be different. It may sound stronger, more direct, and more reflective of the frustration that many wives are feeling these days. I am working on something new in the background. I'm hoping to have it to be able to release it sometime in the next year or two. Another thing I might be doing is I might be creating a Substack out there for wives where I can write to them, because that's a heck of a lot easier sometimes than putting, lighting and all that kind of stuff together. And I might throw some videos out there from time to time. I don't know for sure. All I know is that things have to change. My tone has to change. The things I focus on has to change. But if I'm not back to recording on a regular basis, I will have Jay mention in his videos what I'm doing and release dates and that sort of thing, where to go to check it out. But for now, Jay will be doing most of the videos. Many of those videos will still be aimed at the addicts, but I'm sure betrayed wives can find some information that'll be helpful. But at this point, I'm going to turn it over to you and let you talk about what you're going to be doing, where you feel like God is leading you.
My very ambitious project is that I will be releasing 2 videos. One video will be focused toward the addict. It will be on a different channel, and I will be giving you links to those so that you can go see what I'm saying to the guys. On this channel, I will be presenting the betrayed wives version of what I'm presenting to the men. What I'm presenting to the men is called Storm Ready Men. I don't even know why that came up.
Jay's tears are because he really wants more for the men out there.
Yeah. This is going to be called Storm Ready Men. Storm Ready Men is about helping men navigate the storms of life, whether they're addicts or not. And so I will be putting pieces in there about addicts, but a lot of this is what I think men need in general to navigate life well. There will be conversations about what happens when they try to avoid the storm, when they abandon other people to deal with the storm, because there are storms in life that we're not going to avoid them. They are going to happen. So being storm ready is about, having those conversations now and what can I do to be prepared when this happens, instead of the way I've mainly lived my life, which is either not being aware of the storm or distracting myself during the storm and leaving Lori to handle it, or the storm hits and everything falls apart. So that is what I'm going to try to do is roll out some things that will help addicted men, but it will help other men too, to have that kind of storm ready mindset.
What topics will you be covering? I know one of them was loneliness.
Yeah. Loneliness, addiction is one of them. A couple of big ones like power and prestige, but also talking about illness, death, changes in life, finances, some of those kind of things. But underlying all of this is going to be the conversation to the addict, because I think the addict needs to have all of these same things in place in order to navigate life well.
Do you want comments down below of things to cover?
I would love to hear from the audience on, are they excited about this? Does this ring any bells for them? I'll take any feedback on that. So.
Okay. And in closing, we want to ask for your prayer. The enemy does still strike, not necessarily involving other women, but the dogs don't bark where there ain't no bacon. We feel like we're doing God's work, and I don't think the enemy likes it very much. So we could use your help there. Guys, I want to reiterate, I am asking you to do the hard work for your wife and family.
Right.
Okay. But for all of y'all, thank you so much for being with us during the 6 seasons of us trying to help couples to the best of our ability. We appreciate you. We thank you for the times you've reached out. We thank you for liking our videos, for subscribing, and we appreciate your grace as we go forward, somewhat stumblingly, trying to figure out the next stage that God has for us. All right, guys? So we will see you.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.